Hello everyone, welcome back to the studio. Hope you're all doing okay. In today's Doodle video, I'm going to show you how to draw a dragon eye. So I'm just going to go and share my screen here. We're going to go to the, there we go. Okay, so let's just go slideshow. And from the beginning, okay. So today, like I said, we're going to do a dragon eye. It's something that I've done in the Doodle It Club about 2 years ago now. 2 years ago. So some of you might have seen it before who were coming to the club then, but others, this is all new. It's all done in pencil, this one. So we are going to be drawing a dragon eye. This one here that's coming up is a version of one that I did for the club back two years ago. So today I'm going to talk you through how you can get that kind of effect. So here are some reptile eyes, because obviously we've got no photos, of dragons. So the closest thing is reptile eyes. And if you'll notice on the reptile eyes, the middle part of the eye, they're not round like what we have. We have that round black dot that goes bigger and smaller. They've got these little slits, and some of them are different shapes. You can see some of them have got the curved bits around them. Some of them are just one thin line. So I thought it'd be good to show this photo of different reptiles. There's some snakes and some geckos and some lizards in here, just so you can get an idea of a real life eye for a reptile, and then that can maybe inspire you for your dragon eye. So the first place that I started with my dragon eye is normally on dragons, they're quite angled eyes. So to help you with the lining up of the eye on your page, if you draw a line going across from one corner to another, that will help you set up the shape of your eye. And then your next step that you need to do is draw a sort of arc on the top of your eye, of the line, to make the top of the eye, and then draw another arc on the bottom to make the bottom part shape of your eye. So you've got now a line going across your page, and then that just makes the angle easier. You don't have to do that. If you want your eye to go straight across, that's up to you. This is your creation. You can do it however you want. Then what I did was I started to add some scales to the top, like as though they would be on the top, the eyelid kind of part. You can do these any shape you want to. You can do spiky pointed ones or curved ones. Well, it's entirely up to you. If you notice, to try and make your scales work easier, once you've drawn a line of them around your shape, then if you notice, I sort of start halfway on one of them and then go halfway to the next. That just makes it easier when you start to try and shade your colors, if you want to try and do that effect. So that's just something to look out for if you want to do it that way. Then I've drawn a different kind of shape on the bottom of the eyelid, more long and thin. And then you just carry on now the inside of the eye for to make the slits look more real. You can put in these lines on the top and the bottom. If you want to, you don't need to. It just breaks up the shape of the eye a bit easier. You can also notice that I've rubbed that line out. There was the line that went diagonally across my page. If you notice here, it's now gone. I've rubbed that part out. So when you do your pencil work, try and do it quite pale. If you press really hard with your pencil, you're still going to see it when you rub out, and also it makes rubbing out tricky. So when you sketch things, don't press really hard with your pencil, because then it makes it really quite hard to rub your work out. Okay, so the next one I've drawn in the round shape of the eye. If you remember from the reptile photos, and if you look at your own eye, we've got that ball that's got a color in it. So that's these two lines here are now showing. It's not the whole circle. The top and the bottom disappear underneath the eyelids, because that's how it makes it look more round. And then in the middle, I got carried away when I was drawing and I forgot to take the photo. In the middle, I've put in that central bit there that I spoke about with the reptile eyes. I've just made mine like a little claw shape almost. And then after you finished your eye work, start making your scales carry on your page. That's the top part here. I filled in the whole of the top of the page with scales. And then I did the same on the bottom. I used the same shape scales. I didn't change them to follow that. So there's a various shapes and sizes, just to give it some interest. If you change your size and your shape, it'll look more interesting. So that should be the pencil drawing complete. Then I just chose shades of red. I've got reds and oranges and a bit of an orange yellow in there to choose how I wanted to do the dragon. But as you can see, as we go on, I changed my mind a bit and I added another color in. But you can do whatever color you want. It's your dragon. You can make it a rainbow dragon. You can just have fun. Do it however you like. You also don't have to do this on white card. Forgot to mention that. You can do this on any color you want. Doesn't matter. It'll make it more interesting maybe if you do it on a color card. When we did this at the club a few years ago, we actually did the artwork on black card because I bought in some black cards. So whatever you want to do, it's fine. Then you I started in the center of the eye because I personally just find that easier to start my eyes in the beginning, in the middle, and then you work outwards. But you can go however you want. If you want to start with the scales, go ahead. It's however you choose to do yours. But I started with the black on the inside. You can also see I put in these sort of rectangle shapes here. And I'm going to keep those white because if you leave white shapes in the middle of your eye, it makes your eye look more lifelike. You'll see as we go along the effect that it'll have. So because I'd chosen red colors to do my scales, I chose the complementary color, green, to do the eyes, because then I thought they would pop out against each other. When complementary colors go together, which are the colors opposite each other on a color wheel, you will get nice, vibrant look. You can see I've also added in some yellow in there just to give it a bit of life. And then also started to work on the eyelid shapes, which is now the three of them all done. And as you can see, I've left some white paper showing through just to give it that round look. Do some shading in there the same way that I did the shading on the thistle. I spoke about it to do the dark along the edges, and then you'll make your shape look round instead of just a flat shape. If you leave dark on edges and white or paler parts in the middle, it makes your shape look rounder. So that's the center of the eye, all colored in, all with color pencils. And then I started working on the scales. So now you can see this is the color I decided to add. I decided to add a bit of black into my scales because I thought it would just make it look a bit more fierce and dragon-like. So there's some black here. I started, and if you see, keep the dark colors on the inside almost of your scale, and then you'll start to have an effect that makes them look like they're layering over each other. And the more that you do, the more that it'll give that effect. Like here in the bottom scales, you can see I've kept a lot of shadow going behind the shapes and kept the tips of the scales white. Actually, most of them have got no color in them so that they can look like they're all on top of each other. So that's that section. And then just keep on going. I left some of my scales white, mainly because my hand was hurting from coloring in so much, but you've got younger hands, you might be able to just carry on going and fill them all in. You choose. It was my decision to leave some of them white. I also thought it gave a nice effect. And then you color in both sides. The bottom part of my dragon had the black scales, and then I kept no black on the top, and I just had red and white, just to make it different again. So you can choose however you want to make your dragon color in. Don't forget to do the ones right along the edge, because that just finishes your picture quite nicely. Don't just leave them white. Color in some. You can see some of them I've colored in. I've got the black here, and I've got red right on the edge and some black ones right on the bottom, just so that it finishes off your picture. It doesn't make it look like you've forgotten to do some things. So that is the end of my color crayon eye. The next slide here, these are some photos of the dragon eyes that were done at Doodle It a couple of years ago in the club. These were done using a combination of color pencils and chalk pastels. So if you do have chalk pastels at home, they give a really nice effect. And what you'll notice is in the places, it's very effective up here in this one at the top left. Actually, all three of these along the left, where they've used color pencil on the black card, and it'll do the same effect if you use a different color card. The chalk pastels don't go into the thin line of the pencil, so you get all your pattern work showing up, which is quite a cool effect, I think. So that's using different materials if you have them at home, but you can get a really cool effect like you saw with my dragon eye using color pencils. And that is the one that I did for the club a few years ago. So I don't think I used a lot of color pencils. I used mainly a lot of the chalk pastels and just blended them in. So that is the how to draw your dragon eye. Here's my dragon eye in real life. This one here, for some reason, this screen makes things quite pale, but it's actually like how you saw in the slides. It's very bright, but I think very effective if you pick up those things about leaving the white part in the middle of the eye and do the shading so that you can see how the scales overlap. So I hope you feel inspired to go and create a dragon eye, make something of your own, and hope you have fun. Right, see you next time. Bye-bye.